Chapter 2. The competition heats up. You and Atlas burst into Dean Swan's office after the high ton seemingly disappeared, leaving behind only a crystal. Dean Swan, something's happened to the high ton. She slumped over, then she was just gone. Slow down, both of you. Tell me everything. The high ton dissolved into magic. It was like she turned into a bunch of twinkling lights. It wasn't violent either. It was utterly peaceful. That does sound troubling. And nothing unusual preceded this? No. She just asked us to show her up to the sun art classroom after our class was over. She was fine when we got there, but then suddenly she realized something was wrong. I think she was trying to apologize to me and Atlas, but she never finished what she was saying. That all that was left of her was this crystal. And we still have no idea what it is. You set the crystal down on Dean Swan's desk, and all three of you hover around it. Do you think it might be her essence? But aren't essence supposed to disappear if they aren't corrupted? Let me take a look. Dean Swan holds her hand out over the crystal, and a chill runs down your spine as you feel her blood magic flare. Well, it's not an essence, thank heavens. But there is some kind of blood magic on it. Hang on, let's see what else is going on. Take a deep breath and focus on how powerful you feel when you use your fractional abilities. As you try to extract that same feeling, you're nearly overwhelmed by the sheer energy emanating from the crystal. It's not just enchanted with blood magic, it's enchanted with all the elements. That can be right. Trying something that powerful, you'd... Alice is cut off as the crystal begins to rhythmically pulse light, and then it rises into the air. Get back. Dean Swan draws her arm out to shield you both. The crystal starts to morph and stretch, and light grows until it's practically blinding. Then it abruptly fades, leaving the figure standing before you. Greetings, Elijah Snyder. As Aaron Hart, I'm continuously. I will also respond to my designed nickname, C, as I know humans often prefer that type of familiarity. And your... what exactly? And how do you know our names? I am a magical construct designed to intercede should the high ton perish while selecting a successor. Then it's true. She really is gone. The high ton's staff activated my protocols, but before her passing, she submitted her names as potential successors. As a result, the two of you will partake in a series of challenges designed to test your magical abilities and leadership qualities. I will judge performance in each of these trials, and based upon that, one of you will be chosen to take up the title. You have to be kidding. It's bad enough when the high tone is going to be evaluating us, but now we have to actually complete. I am capable of kidding. I am incapable of kidding. This is standard procedure where multiple potential successors exist. The Aton community requires stable leadership, but only one can ascend to the position of high Aton. This is the solution. And what happens if we don't compete? Continuously tilts their head at an unnatural angle. No one has inquired about that before. I must consult the bylaws. Their eyes glaze over as though they're lost in thought, and the air around them seems to hum with energy. According to Section 7, Paragraph 12 of the Secession Protocol, choosing not to compete will result in your death. What? To be precise, I will be required to kill you. You can't threaten us like that. It's not a threat, it is simply protocol. James Wan, are you just gonna stand by and let this thing kill us? No, of course not. But given the sheer power in a contingency construct, I would likely struggle to prevent such a thing. What are you talking about? Constructs are rare for a reason. Making one last for any length of time requires several individuals to imbue them with their magic. As a result, no one person's magic can destroy them. Even your mother will be unable to, especially since you can only use some magic. I'll be more than happy to answer any and all questions you have about design and history on our way to the first challenge. Hang on, we're starting now? We must find a new high tund as succinctly as possible, but I assure you, this is all being done for the good of Tund society. Well, I'm coming too. I don't want either of you getting hurt. And I never hear the end of it from there if I didn't. Continuously flows toward the door, and Dean Swan hurries after them. Before you follow, Alice grabs your arm. What's the matter? I mean, other than everything that just happened. If this construct is actually offering to answer all our questions, we should take advantage of it. We need to learn everything we can before this competition. Before it starts. Its history, its rules, all of it. Questioning continuously to learn more about them, the history of these competitions, and even the high turned out of you and Atlas. Does this thing smile? It does. As continuously, as continuously leads you and Atlas, and Dean Swan across the campus, you fall into step alongside their floating form. So, see, you said you answered any questions we have about you and the competition? That is correct. Informational transparency was built into my protocols. Then I don't see why we have to ask in the first place. You just tell us everything we know. You know. To accurately convey all the information in my vast memory would require weeks of non-stop speaking. Such an effort would interfere with beginning the competition, however, which I cannot allow. The wealth of knowledge this construct must have is truly incredible. Why don't we start with just a couple of things? Can you tell me about the first competition? First session competition I administered occurred in the year 953, following the death of High Tund Evard McCarty. The three candidates who were selected to compete were his three apprentices, Gerhard Acker, Matilda Matisse, and Olaf Nilsson. Nilsson was actually a Viking Tund who had sailed from the north 2 decades prior. And they all competed in the same challenges that Alice and I are going to do. Not the same challenges. As the role of High Tund has evolved, so have the means of determining one best suited for the role. The trials then were more physically demanding, reflecting the martial culture of the period. Thank goodness they aren't still like that. So who won? Olaf Nilsson emerged victorious due to his innovative use of magic to enhance his physical strength. After his victory, he served as High Tund for 53 years, the second longest tenure in recorded history. Can you tell about yourself? As I said before, I'm continuously, otherwise known by my designated nickname, C. You know, people don't usually have designated nicknames. Nicknames happen naturally, like how Atlas and I became Double Trouble. So it could be Con or Tinge or Sai if you want it. The nickname is for your comfort. I have no preference on the matter. I'm a construct designed for a singular purpose, to orchestrate and judge succession competitions with perfect impartiality. So what do you do when you aren't running these competitions? I maintain status, ensuring I will have enough magic to sustain myself for approximately 1,742 years before requiring magical punishment. That sounds kind of depressing, to be honest. Continuously pauses, their head tilting to the side the same way an animal might when encountering something new. I do not possess emotional capacities as humans understand them. But wouldn't you like to have the chance to do something else? Anything outside of my purpose is not applicable. A question has been logged but categorized as irrelevant to the succession process. Would you like to inquire about something else? Who made you? I was created in the year 783 by High Tund Robert Grandmere and the 17 members of his council. But that was over 1,000 years ago. Yes, it was 1,237 years, 4 months, and 12 days ago, to be precise. And who were these council members? Powerful individuals, mastery over their atonements, primarily from Europe, Asia, and Africa. Atonement were already on every continent back then, but the magical government was based where population densities were the highest. But even with these masters, by creation still took 7 days and claimed the lives of 2 of the council. People died making you? Their magical energies proved insufficient, and they succumbed to the strain. An unfortunate but necessary sacrifice. I knew the construction of constructs was difficult, but I had no idea trying to make one could kill you. Why were you made? My creation was necessitated by the Great Secession in crisis 782. Highton Henry Havergrove perished during Charlemagne's conquering other Saxons, and as he had named no successor, Hatton began fighting over the position. I wish I could say I was surprised. Groups of Hatton formed factions based on who they supported, with the leader of each claiming they alone were the rightful successor. Eventually, those factions went to war. The conflict lasted 14 months and resulted in the deaths of approximately 2,347 Hatton, nearly 8% of the global Hatton population. All that death, and for what? You see yourself just what some people are willing to do for power. Elijah, it was no different back then. So you were created to prevent a war like that from happening ever again. Correct. My protocols ensure that succession disputes are resolved through controlled trials rather than open warfare. This has successfully prevented large-scale Hatton conflict for over a millennium. Until the last competition. It occurred in 1941, following the death of High Hatton Margaret Holloway during a tunnelers bombing in London. Right in the middle of World War II. I took a big gulp of drink that had ice in it, so I had to pause just to get it down. Oof. The timing was problematic given the global instability. The competition needed to be expedited to ensure continuity of magical governments. And this story I'm familiar with is how the previous High Hatton came to power. Donna competed for the role. She was the youngest candidate at 22, having just graduated from Pendergast with honors in charmology. Her primary competitor was Humphrey Lambert, a 32-year-old professor from Gildegrave. He specialized in the defense of arts and was widely expected to win. Against Pendergast and Gildegrave rivalry is well established. Indeed, and it was Jahani's exceptional ability that led to her ultimately winning more of the challenges than Lambert. So it's not just about who's stronger. Raw magical power is a factor in evaluations, but not the only one. Judgment, versatility, and leadership potential carry equal weight. Oof! He continued to follow continuously across the campus, but then they paused by the edge of the lake. Is that the last of your inquiries? Actually, I was wondering what else you knew about High Hatton Jahani. I have not physically interacted with her since she won her competition back in 1941. But you mentioned she submitted our names to you herself. High Hatton Jahani maintained a sense of personal records, all of which I have access to. That's how I retrieved the information. She kept detailed notes on both you and her potential successors. Hang on, maybe you can tell us what the High Hatton thought about us, if you would like me to. She begins floating forward again, leaving the rest of you scrambling to follow. I don't know what she said about me. He has demonstrated remarkable collaborative instinct in problem solving and bringing together a group capable of defeating Cain. I initially saw this as a potential weakness, but no longer. The entire world has long been governed through authority. Perhaps it's time for a leader who understands the power of connection. That's a lot nicer than I expected. Don't be surprised. Don't be so surprised, Elijah. All of us here at Pendergast have seen your knack for bringing people together. In regards to your first meeting, she noted his current good-natured attitude, despite recent dangers, shows resilience to stress. And what did she have to say about Elijah recently? Like his brothers, his professional power has developed at an unprecedented rate, suggesting untapped potential. But his lack of interest in the role gives me pause. Can he fulfill his duties if he doesn't want them, or is that precisely what makes him an ideal choice? I shall have to see how Elijah and Atlas continue to develop over the course of the year before making my final decision. So she really isn't decided between the two of us? No, hence the need for competition. I feel like I have a dozen new questions now, but thanks for taking this time to explain everything to you. You are very welcome. I trust the information provided has been satisfactory. Yes, it was quite informative. Better than walking in blind, that's for sure. Excellent. Then let us proceed to the first challenge. Continuously leads you into the thief arena and to the middle of the field. Is the first challenge going to be a game of thief? Seems like you have an unfair advantage. No, thief game is not one of the approved challenges for this competition, but this venue will prove advantageous for testing your magical capabilities without undue risk to people or structures. The fewer assigned forms I have to fill out, the better. It isn't technically necessary for your first challenge, but it felt like a fitting location to begin. Just how many challenges are there? There are 8 challenges in total, each representing a fundamental element of magic. This first challenge represents fire. Continuously holds their hands out until other torches appear in them. Then they pass one to you and Atlas. What do you want us to do with these? You must light them, and whoever lights the torch first will be the winner of this challenge. That seems suspiciously straightforward. It is not as simple as it seems. These torches can only be ignited by the true essence of fire. Standard spells will be ineffective. Sounds like we're gonna need something harder than flame. You channel your magic into the ground in front of you, heating up, and a moment later, the rock starts to glow orange as it melts. You dip the tip of the torch into lava, but when you pull it out, it remains intact but unlit. What the hell? Let me show you how it's done. Alice snaps his fingers, and his palm is instantly engulfed in flame. He grabs a hold of the end of his torch, but it also doesn't light. You know what I'm saying? This is ridiculous. How are we supposed to light these if normal fire magic doesn't work? That is up for you to figure out as part of the challenge, and it may take as long as necessary to do so. But remember, you only win if you're the first to light your torch. Then I guess we'll be back once one of us managed it. I have every confidence in you both. Keen's one gives you an encouraging smile as she ushers you and Alice toward the exit to the thief arena. Well, this squad structure seems interested in testing your magical aptitude, the same way the High Town was planning to. I can tell your mother she has nothing to worry about. Or nothing new to worry about, anyway. You shake your head, amused when you're suddenly overwhelmed with a vision. You're still standing in the thief's arena, and now the field has been torn apart, and there are massive holes in the dome. I saw this last year when I was looking for Mom. My prescience has never taken over like this before. But my prescience has never taken over like this before. Who's gonna tell me that for the whole of like book 1, I think it was, and probably some of book 2 as well, that I was reading that word wrong? By the way, it's prescience, not prescience. Who's gonna tell me I was reading that wrong? Who's gonna tell me I was saying that word wrong? I knew I was saying it wrong. I just didn't know how to say it right. So who's gonna tell me I was saying it wrong this whole time? Fuck y'all. Yeah, jolted back to reality as Alice claps his hand on your shoulder. Eyebrows furrowed with concern. You okay? You just froze up all of a sudden. It's nothing. I just have a bad feeling about this. Elijah, it's gonna be fine. It's not just a few challenges. It's just a few challenges. It's not like we're going up against the source again. Alice gives your shoulder a brief reassuring squeeze before you both turn to follow DS1 out of the arena. Later that day, you and Alice meet up with the rest of the misfits in the roost, where you tell them about everything that happened that morning. So the high ton just up and dived right in front of you? That must have been horrible. But she left behind some kind of crystal that turned into a construct. Not a golem or shade, but a natural construct. And that construct is making you compete in a series of challenges to determine which of you is going to be the next high ton. That about covers it. And you're both just okay with this? Being drawn into a competition against each other? Alice shrugs. Nothing's really changed. It's just this construct judging us now instead of the higher ton. But the higher ton wasn't going to pit you against each other in challenges. She was just going to observe you. You're all making this way too big a deal. You all are making this way too big a deal about this. I'm going to start figuring out this torch. Wait, I thought we were all going to Wait, I thought we were all going to get dinner after. But you haven't even finished your sentence by the time Alice started the trap door, leaving the rest of you behind. This competition has barely started, and is already pushing all of us away. Alright, Elijah, how are you from all of this? I will do my best. I might not want the job, but Alice wanted this to be a fair competition. The least I can do is give him that. The least I can do is give that to him. I just hope he remembers that you're doing this for him. What happens if you actually wind up winning? If you're high ton, whether you want it or not. I'll deal with that then. And I hope Alice won't hold it against me if it happens. Alice has always preferred to work through his circles on his own. Perhaps we just need to give him some time. Well, we got plenty of that. There'll be 7 more challenges after this. He's tied to a different element. But there are 9 elements. Blood magic is still universally banned in theft, even if Elijah and Atlas and Athene are all practicing covertly. I just hope they're not all riddles like this one. As much as I'd like to help you unravel this particular puzzle, I can't condone cheating, and if my assistance would count as that. But I will research everything I can about previous session competitions to see if I can learn anything that will help you indirectly. I don't know much about this whole process, but if there's anything I can do to help you, Elijah, just let me know. Not to speak for all of us, but I think we're all on the same page here. Just don't expect me to be good for more than a couple of laughs. Sometimes a laugh is just what you need. Thanks, but please do the same for Atlas. He needs all the support he can get. Even if you'd rather eat glass in a minute. Of course, Atlas is as much a part of the misfits as the rest of us. Whatever information I find while researching the competition, I'll be sure to share with him. I just hope he actually accepts our help. So do I. And now I say we go and get some dinner. You can't hold the light that I told you on an empty stomach. As everyone heads out the trapdoor, Beckett lingers, and once you're gone, he takes your hand, forward crease with concern. I just want to make sure you're actually okay. I've been attempting to formulate the appropriate response to the situation, but I find myself at a loss. Honestly, just having you here makes me feel a bit better. There's no place I'd rather be. He leans in to press a brief kiss to your lips, soft, short, and full of feeling. And while I may not be able to do much to assist you during the challenges, know that you have my full support. Just promise me you'll be careful. I will not bear it if something were to happen to you. Beckett's expression softens as he looks at you. You cup his cheek in your hand. I survived Rafe, Kane, and your sister's pop quizzes. I think I can handle this. Hell, I survived you. I know you can. And should you need research, assistance, spell practice, or someone to lean on, just say the word. After stealing another quick kiss, You make your way out of the roost to catch up the rest of your friends. That night, you're sitting on your bed beside Loomis and Navi, staring at the unlit torch in your hands. There must be some kind of trick to this thing. Navi rests a paw on your leg. She sniffs at the end of the torch, only to let out an adorable sneeze. Cuckoo. Loomis floats closer to the torch, flicking it with his tail. I don't think this is gonna help, buddy, but thanks for trying. Maybe you're just overthinking it. You get up off your bed and walk over to the magical fireplace on the other side of your dorm. You stick the end of the torch into it for a few moments and pull it back out, but it's still not burning. Pooh. So much for that. I wonder if Atlas is having more luck. You're enough for the night. You make your way out of the dorm and to the lake shore, where you're trained with Atlas just after you first reunited. Knowing him, he's having trouble. If he's having any trouble, this is what he'll be. And sure enough, to get closer to the water, see Atlas, one hand glowing with magic, while the other holds his torch. His eyes light up. His eyes light up as soon as he spots you. Elijah, is everything okay? Then he abruptly looks away, clearing his throat and crossing his arms. I mean, did you get your torch figured out? No, I was thinking we could put our heads together, so we're both trying to do the same thing. This is a competition, Elijah. We should be managing these challenges by ourselves. At least that wasn't in the rules. Contingency never specifically said that we couldn't help each other. Just that whoever lights their torch first wins. It was assumed. Hey, they wanted us to work separately. They should have spelled it out in bright, glowing letters. Alice's mouth twitches in a near smile before he sighs. Look, I don't think working together is in the spirit of the competition, but there's no harm in sitting together for a little while. I can go for that. You'll take a seat on a dry patch of ground near the lake. Following the silence, she watched the moonlight reflect on the water. Oh yeah, it's a lot nicer than Fred knows with a stupid torch. I know the competition and all the classes are gonna keep us pretty busy, but I hope we can still hang out like this. Alice's expression softens for a moment, and then you can practically see the way his balls go back up as he turns away. I don't think that's likely. So, think our friends are taking bets yet? On what? On which was going to be the next high turn, obviously. So Zeph started betting pool as soon as he heard we both running. I'm pretty sure Zeph started a betting pool as soon as he heard we were both in the running. Alex can't quite hold back a snort. Well, everyone who's betting on you better be ready to forgo their money. Both laugh. Then Alex gets back to his feet, dusts himself off, and picks up his torch. Matt to work already? Matt's like thinking about calling it a night. It's not like there's a time limit, and I've already tried everything I know. I even managed to get a burst spell, despite the fact that it's notoriously difficult. I never heard of that one. What does it do? Creates a minor explosion. Wait for destruction or cause a distraction. Alex glances over at you, and then back out at the lake. If you want, I can teach it to you. What happens to not helping each other? Alex rolls his eyes. Well, it didn't work on my torch. I'm not saying there's not a chance, but even if it doesn't help with this challenge, I'm sure you'll find use for it, given how crazy our lives are. Let Alex teach you the burst spell to add it to your spell book and gain a powerful attack for the trials ahead. Alright. The burst spell uses sun fire magic, which is why I have trouble with it. Alice, we'll turn to other elements now. We shouldn't have trouble with any of them. You're telling me you don't still have favorites. Touche. Sword to fire, but it's to keep it contained. Controlled. I can do controlled. You clap your hands together, summon fire between them, so his light barely peeks out between the cracks in your fingers. Step 1, done. Next, channeling your sun magic while imagining that fire growing exponentially. Then the fire's getting bigger. Your sun magic comes naturally, and as you think about the fire growing, the pressure between your hands builds. Now what do I do with it? Check it as something you want to explode. You hurl it into the lake, and the flame fizzles out as it disappears beneath the surface. Damn, guess this doesn't work on the massive column of water shoots up out of the lake. Just explodes, sending droplets raining down on you and Atlas. That was so cool. It would have been cooler if you hadn't gotten us all wet. But not bad. You got the hang of that spell a lot faster than I did. Teach me a spell and give me a compliment one day? Who are you? What have you done with my brother? Shut up. It's probably just a sun thing. Let's see if that helps get this torch lit. You pull your torch out of your bag and set it on the ground before casting the spell again. True essence of fire. Another small explosion that somehow doesn't destroy the torch, but also doesn't manage to light it. Oh, you're right. That's not the answer. We can try again tomorrow. First, I think both of us could use some sleep. Seriously, today feels like it lasted a whole week. Thanks for teaching me this spell, Atlas. Don't mention it. Seriously, don't. Until you grab your things and make your way across campus back to your dorms for some well-earned rest. It's good to be not sharing a dorm room with him anymore. Like, yes, get my room to myself, not some look-alike on my floor, sleeping next to my bed. The next morning, you're sitting in the common room of your dorm, looking over your torch when Shreya steps out of her room. Yeah, Birdie, and it doesn't look like you got it when you sleep. I still haven't been able to figure out this torch. Continuously said it can only be lit with the true essence of fire, but I have no idea what that means. Well, you came to the right person for help. I am a fire artist after all. And the first thing any fire artist learns is that fire doesn't just burn on its own. It needs something to fuel it. I do remember that from Spellwork 1A. Professor England explained it in the very first lesson when he was teaching us the flame spell. I can just imagine the heat source, we also need some kind of kindling. Look at you, remembering all the lessons like the stellar student you are. Personally, I found that strong emotions make the best fuel, at least if you want to control a sizable fire. But I'm not having trouble conjuring fire. I've done that several times. It's like the source needs me to conjure it in a specific way. Then perhaps what you need is a more hands-on experience with fire, and I can think of no better place for that than the fire at a classroom. Are you sure I'm allowed in there? Only under the suspicion of a fire hat. But since I'm such a wonderful person, I'm more than happy to take you. I give you regale you would tell about my own relationship with fire, and else, maybe be just inspiration you need to win this. Go straight to the fire classroom to learn more about her studies and fire magic. Not necessarily saying it's gonna light the torch, otherwise that's kind of cheating, because a fire art student is giving me lessons on how to create fire better. Like, a fire art is teaching me about fire in a fire art classroom while trying to help me with the torch, light the torch. Not saying it's going to light the torch, but I'll have a slightly unfair advantage over Atlas just knowing this information, if he doesn't already know it. And if I do actually light the torch, then that kind of feels like cheating, because she just helped me. The trail leads you across the campus into a strange stone room that looks more like an ancient temple than a classroom. This is where you have classes? I know. The decor is awful, but it can't exactly keep anything flammable near pets and fire arts. And it does have a few fun secrets. Shreya snaps her fingers, and suddenly lava starts to pour out the columns, filling part of the floor. The heat hits you instantly, the air turning oppressive, and leaving sweat bead on the back of your neck. That seems dangerous. I mean, isn't having actual lava in the classroom a massive safety hazard? The danger is not the fun. Besides, if you're a fire rat who hasn't figured out how to stop yourself from getting burned, then you're basically hopeless. Sure, I guess. Shreya twirls her finger, causing a ball of lava to hop from one section to the room to another. Personally, I think the lava is a little heavy-handed. I would have much preferred a hot spring. But it's certainly one way to tempt the heat. Do fires usually need help with that? I figured heat would come naturally to them. It did for me. I've been doing fire magic since I was a young girl. So what you do in your fire classes? I don't imagine it's all that different from your thunder classes. We just focus on fire magic. Okay, in my classes, I meditate for hours and learn how to look into the future. We meditate too, but we do that to help control our powers, not use them. That's actually part of what the lava is for, to test how well you can keep your magic under control and surrounded by your element. Sounds challenging. I can be, but better to be challenged now than accidentally wind up burning someone when you get mad. It's not all boring though. There's also cooking and baking magic, fire dancing, and even some combat. Shreya beckons you closer. She squats down beside the lava, and the heat feels blistering as you join her. But you can't create fire without burning something up. Without giving up. Without giving it up. That's the core of fire magic. Sacrifice. You have to sacrifice something every time you cast. Not every time, but when you're working with fire, you always give something up. You just don't always recognize it. Some people use their anger or another emotion. Other people need a more natural kindling. I'm guessing you're the former. She stands back up and flashes you a smile. What can I say? I always felt masculine strongly. It's one of your best qualities. What emotions do you use? It depends on the situation, but I always found that the fire comes most naturally when I'm frightened or angry. She holds out her palm, and a flame springs to life in it, dancing and shifting. Fear, but the people I care about will be hurt, and get the ones who would hurt them. Fighting to protect your family and friends. I understand that. I knew you would. But doesn't it bother you that you have to give something up just to use the magic you're done to? Not really. Take like purging your closet. Sometimes you got to toss out last year's style to make room for something new. Besides, there's really little I wouldn't be willing to give up if it meant protecting the people important to me. People like you. She just snaps her fingers, and lava starts pouring out of the walls, rapidly cooling into solid stone. Stone solid. I read that backwards. How? Oh my god. Hopefully some of that will help you with this silly little challenge. Thank you, Shreya. If I do manage to get this torch lit, it'll be because of you. Just buy me a magic matcha next time we're in Penn Square, and we'll call it even. Magic mocha next time we're in Penn Square, then we'll call it even. I want matcha. Not mocha. I knew that. So, wishful thinking on my part. That isn't matcha. It's mocha. But I like a matcha. Maybe mocha, but preferably matcha. Leave the fire clashing behind until you head back to your dorm. Shreya gives you a wave, you make your way to your bedroom. So fire magic requires sacrifice. Then you burn something in order to light the torch. You look over your belongings. Loomis and Navi appear from the ether at the end of your bed. See it. I'm still figuring it out. But first, I need to get in the right headspace. And Shreya said the best fuel is a strong emotion. Feel sure with fear run down your spine. She recalled how it felt to be strapped to the race machine, the power drained out of you. I thought that was going to be the end. Yeah? Lewis nudges your arm while Navi puts her front paws on your bed frame so she can nuzzle into you. I'm alright. I need to pick something up. I'm alright. I just need to pick something to use as kindling now. Scanning over your dresser, see the photo of you and your dad that your mom gave you back to you. the Misfits bracelet, and one of your spell books. You pick up the bracelet and turn it over in your hand. Shreya gave me these to us after we became friends, to show that we were going to stick together. That seems like a worthy sacrifice to me. Keeping the object in your hand, you can draw a flame into it, and it immediately catches fire. Then take the torch and bring the top of it to the flame. But the iron burns to ash and fire dies out. Still not lit. I guess that wasn't enough of a sacrifice after all. As you wipe the ash from your palms, suddenly hear a familiar voice in your head. Continuously. Please come to the deep arena immediately. Do not delay. Guess I better go and see what that's about. You arrive at the deep arena to find Continuously and Atlas already waiting for you. You immediately realize Alice is holding a burning torch as Continuously gives a few small claps. Congratulations, Atlas Earnhardt. You have lit your torch first. By doing so, one challenge of fire. Alice, what did you sacrifice in order to light it? Alice looks away from you, staring at the ground. Just something my foster parents gave me before Rafe got to them. Alice, I'm so sorry. It had to be done. Whether you won or lost, do not let today affect your confidence. Next challenge begins soon, and with it, another opportunity to prove yourself worthy of becoming the next higher turned. One challenge down, 7 more to go. We're really doing this. Yep, goodbye.